Don't follow the lights in the forest. For the first time, I heard about what is happening in the forest from my grandmother. During her childhood, there were rumors that one who disappeared in the forest went after the lights. These lights allegedly lured people into the depths of the forest and they disappeared without a trace. My grandmother also saw something strange in the distance among the trees. Something seemed to flash and there was a strong smell of ozone, stronger than after a thunderstorm. Representatives of the authorities even came to this area to investigate strange events, but they left without finding any answer. Years later, when my grandmother passed away, I came to the house I inherited with the goal of living there for 6 months while the coronavirus reigned in the world. Furthermore, a quiet place would not hurt me, a cozy and measured existence. In September, I think it was September 21st, I went for a walk to the forest. The usual walk along the path. But as I entered the forest, I felt a strange sense of unease. As if something was enveloping the mind from the inside, causing very strange feelings. I did not pay attention to it. In the light of events in the world, my psyche could play any joke. Immersed in my thoughts and feelings, I was walking along the path when suddenly I imperceptibly turned off it. I did not understand why. The forest did not become darker, I just walked along the moss instead of the beaten path, but something was wrong. There was something around me. I don't know how to describe it. I saw some kind of greenish fog slightly creeping over the moss. I didn't attach any importance to it then. In a split second, it just seemed strange to me. After 2 hours, I was already at home. Nothing bad happened to me. So, another month passed. On October 10th, I decided to ride a bike along the same path and dive deeper into the forest because I was curious to find out where the trail led. I had been driving for about 40-50 minutes when suddenly I noticed a small swampy area with stumps and skeletons of trees. But that was not what caught my attention. With my peripheral vision I saw some silhouettes among those skeletons of trees which looked like simple shadows, but something was wrong. I stopped abruptly and began to peer in that direction but did not see anything strange. At night, I dreamed of that swamp. It was around after midnight in the dream. In the dark, by the moonlight, the swamp looked rather scary. I stood and looked into the depths at those very trees and it seemed to me that I saw silhouettes, flashing burning lights that turned out to be eyes, and creeping green fog. I woke up in a cold sweat. I was very scared. I couldn't sleep anymore that night. I have one feature. If I'm afraid of something, I try to understand it. I began my small investigation. I opened the archives, interviewed the rest of the inhabitants. The information I got shocked me. Everything turned out to be much stranger than I thought. Let's start with the fact that all these events began in the 40s of the 20th century. The hunters began to disappear in groups of 2 or 3 people. Those who dared to look for them returned with strange stories. Some said that they heard the voices of the missing people in tens of meters away, but no one responded to the calls. Someone saw moving formless entities as if assembled from flesh. One day, a search party found a pile of clothes belonging to the missing people. Their relatives identified their personal belongings. Here is another special case that I want to tell about. 2 girls, who went to look for the missing husband of one of them, saw something similar to a huge mushroom cap risen over the forest far away. It was like the thing was made of metal and there was an unbearable rumble in the air and the trees seemed to part around it. There were a lot of lights all around the forest as if a crowd of people with torches were looking for something. The frightened girls fled back to the city. Later on, there were some stories allegedly of those who saved and returned from the forest. According to the stories, as if in a dope they were led away by some kind of lights. There was a green fog creeping along the ground, just like the one I saw. Those who did not disappear suffered from nightmares in which they saw strange places, events, and silhouettes in which the images of missing people were guessed. Over the past 10 years, 6 people have missed. People began to forget all these strange stories. In fact, if it not me, then all this would have disappeared into oblivion like those who went into the forest and did not return. It is strange to tell all this and write it in my diary, but I still want something to be left of what I could find because I am having more and more strange dreams that are becoming the reality. Yesterday, I woke up and saw half asleep that something without a face and in a dark red robe like in a shroud was bending over near my bed. I got scared and I screamed. Will I see another day?